Welcome to the Lorehounds podcast, your barely functional ER. I'm John.
I'm David, and this is our coverage of Season 2 of the Pitt, Episode 4, 10 a.m. John, how are we doing this week?
I thought it was a pretty good episode. I thought last episode was stronger. If people, by the way, want to tell us what they're thinking about it, lorehounds@lorehounds.com is a great way to do that, or you can go to the Discord server linked in our show notes. But yeah, I thought that this was an interesting episode. Again, you have written here, they are addressing real sociological issues still.
Right.
Some of it was a little ham-handed, I will say. Like some of it was like,
interesting.
We are doing a bit on health insurance right now. Like I was like, okay, all right.
We're just pushing this right up front in your face here. Yeah.
But at the same time, like I've done some thinking about like ham-handedness and things like this, and this is going to be a widely watched show of people of a lot of different backgrounds.
Good point.
And a lot of us are very familiar with like the fact that health insurance is a terrible thing in this country. Like the way that this works, and the way that a lot of people are left without insurance is terrible, and that is a terrible thing that's happening in this country. But yeah, a lot of people just have their employer-based coverage. It works for them, and then life's hard. There's a lot of things to keep track of. It's not like I'm not saying it's a moral failing to not know about this, but like a lot of people just don't know about this, and so maybe a little ham-handedness and a little a few extra signals of like this is a thing that we're going into is okay. Right, as long as the dialogue isn't super cheesy, which I think overall in this episode it was not cheesy. Some of the stuff with Jada, the sister of Jake, I think it was. I thought that some of the stuff with her was very cheesy. It was, and I don't know if it was like an acting thing or a writing thing, but there was a lot of. It just felt like it was over the top. Some of it.
Is he going to be okay? Should I call my parents? Yeah.
Right. Like that stuff. And I think that's partially writing, but also like sometimes she was like moving her whole, like the way that she was moving was very like, I am in a show right now. So I don't know. I just didn't care for those scenes overall. But all the other scenes I thought were great. I mean, I thought that the scenes with, I don't want to get too specific, I guess, but the scenes with the eating disorder were really well acted by everyone involved, especially the guest actor. I thought was really great in like the conflicting feelings that she was having of I don't want to admit it, but I need help and this and that. Thought that was really great. And I am excited to see what's coming next because a lot of things are changing very quickly. How about you?
Yeah, I thought that this was less of a. It didn't tug at my heartstrings in the same way that the last episode did. This one felt more just sort of like a workaday episode, right? We're just moving through our day. We're moving through our stories. We're adding to stories. And it didn't have that real, oh, wow, this is like a really, I didn't have a real heavy emotional topspin to it. It was just like a solid episode in the life of season 2 of The Pitt. Yeah. I did like. I like your point. I take your point about the obtuseness or obviousness of a couple of the issues, but I find that I think you put your finger right on it, which is this season. I don't know that we don't know the numbers yet, but if it got so much attention from season 1, new people are going to be coming to the show, and they're getting maybe a wider audience. And they would have had a thought of this, obviously, before they, writ and filmed this. But they're not assuming that, like, how much can we assume about who's going to be watching this and what do they need to know? And so being a little bit obtuse in that way, and I'm not using that in a negative, I'm just saying it in a descriptive. I agree with you. I don't think it's a bad idea necessarily because healthcare issues in this country are super complex. Mm-hmm. We can deliver an excellent standard of care, but the administrative process to manage that standard of care is completely cocked hat, right? It's completely effed.
And we can deliver a standard of care if you have the cash or the coverage to get it.
Right.
But if you don't, it's like there is no tech, right? Like the tech is meaningless to you.
Exactly. Yeah.
If you can't afford it.
Right. And it's not available in your region where you are. Can you get to the facility with that kind of care?
If, for example, someone were going to drastically cut Medicaid and a lot of rural hospitals had to close, that would be terrible.
It would be, right? And flying people by helicopter is awesome. It's like an awesome thing that can happen. And it's freaking expensive, right? Mm-hmm. And it's like, we do it because we have uneven, the distribution of care is uneven, right? And so now helicopter rides are kind of standard as opposed to being the most extreme, getting somebody to the most extreme trauma center in a region or something. So,
right.
I really appreciated the whole conversation around eating disorders and having 3 women talking about that. And then the stat that Mel throws out about how it's an underdiagnosed condition for Black women in this country. But then I also like that they kind of talked about it from Mel's standpoint of her and her sister being, neurodiverse, people with neurodiversities and being particular eaters. And I, as a parent, deal with this exact thing, right? I don't want to go too many into specifics, but this is affecting my life on a daily basis. Not eating disorders, but being very particular about stuff.
Well, I wanted to say, like, I saw really interesting comments from neurodivergent people on Reddit where they were saying, that's a very common thing where one sibling is severely, severely impacted by the neurodivergence, and the other one is less severely. And so sometimes the parents don't even pick up that there is any neurodivergence of the other kid because they're so focused on the one that needs the most help. And so it's possible, I mean, we don't have direct evidence of this yet, but it is possible that Mel, she always says, my sister's autistic. She doesn't say we are both autistic.
Right.
She doesn't. And, she might not be autistic. I don't know that. But she's clearly, I think, being coded as having symptoms that appear to the casual viewer as neurodivergent at the least, right?
So go ahead. Are you finished your thought?
I was just saying, like, it's possible that she's never actually gotten help. She's never actually gotten, therapy and treatment and help with coping with her neurodivergencies. Whereas her sister has been the focus of that care, including from her.
Yeah, right. And that's a really good point. And I'll jump in here and without getting into personal specifics, this is something that my family is it's present in our lives, and done a lot, learning a lot and interacting with the systems of care a lot around this issue. And I'll say it's not a disease. It's not a disease in the sense of that we think of it. It's a condition of developmental design, I guess you could say, the way that the neurons are structured and the way that the chemicals are flowing and all that kind of stuff. And so treatment is not to fix something or to correct something. It's to manage in a world that is, not accommodating of that, right? That's the way that works. And so it's learning systems of translation. It's like learning different language. Like, how do I operate in another country with a different language and a different set of cultures? Like, how do you, negotiate those things? And there is some indication, and I'm not an expert on this, just a person with it in my life, that there may be subclinical conditions where you can have stronger tendencies towards something. So Mel could be subclinical, right? It doesn't rise the things that she has going on for her don't rise to a level that it needs higher levels of support and care and organization. There was a great podcast that I listened to. God, I wish I could remember what it was and when it was. I think it was before the new year. And it was one of the main news stories, maybe Vox or Washington Post or somebody like that. And they did this story on the autism spectrum classifications, type 1, type 2, and type 3, because we've moved away from Asperger's and other sort of names. And the woman who came up with that was trying to do, hey, like, let's organize this in a way that seems to work a little bit better for everybody. And it's seemingly to having a unintended consequence of creating some unevenness in how we address and understand it. So people who we would classify in a type 3 who have a severe impact on their daily life, being able to care for themselves, being able to work, maneuver through the world unaided, and being connected to type 1 high functioning, which we used to call Asperger's in a kind of a lump way, don't oftentimes have the same continuum of care. They don't need the same things. And so then we lump it all together as just this one diagnosis with these 3 subtypes that creates inadequacies for type 2 and type 3 people versus type 1s. And so there's a lot of conversation in the space now around, was that the right thing to do to put those into those 3 categories? And should we revise that? And then there's the whole question of being subclinical, like tendencies that you recognize in yourself or you experience, but don't cause you to have trouble working in the world. Right. It doesn't affect you being able to take the bus to your job or to go grocery shopping or what have you, right? You may have particularities, noise sensitivities, texture sensitivities to clothing, things like that. But that doesn't stop you from living your life. And Mel seems to me to be right on that. And that's where we talk about it being a spectrum, right? That there is a gradation of effect that these neurological differences affect the individual in different ways. So sorry to monologue a little bit. It's just something that's very close to me in my life right now.
No, yeah, that's a really good point. She could not need help with it. Although I would say that we're already seeing her have a lot of trouble dealing with anxiety right now.
Right. Yeah.
With everything.
Sorry, I got to jump in right there too. And anxiety for neurodiverse people, especially high functioning people, that's actually one of the most significant negative impacts on life, is because as you're working through life and trying to catch the bus or drive down the highway or go to the grocery store or whatever, or interacting with your coworkers, the differences that you notice about yourself or the way that people treat you can cause anxiety, because as an individual, part of our brain is that we're leaning into predicting what's going on. How is this interaction going to go? Or how is this person going to relate to me? Or what do I think about going to the grocery store? And so anxiety can generate, and then that anxiety can build up, and then that can lead to all kinds, as I think you're a little bit aware too, of anxiety issues and what kind of secondary effects anxiety has on health longevity, on depression, not depression, so those kinds of circumstances. So anxiety is the real killer when it comes. That's the wrong word. I apologize. The anxiety is the real. You got to watch out for it. It's the sand in the gears that can really cause a lot of problems later down the road for somebody. Sorry,
I am aware of that one.
I'm monologuing again. I apologize.
No, that's all right. That's all right.
I haven't really talked about this in this way, and so it's sort of like a whole bunch of stuff has come,
Right.
Hey, look, I've got a bunch of thoughts on the topic. So,
no, I definitely hear you.
Yeah.
Well, we've got a lot of sociological issues coming on in here. I mean, you've got, again, we talked about the eating disorder issue. Really interesting that Santos is not on it right now because she's so worried about repeating her R2 year.
Right. That really freaked her out, right?
Yeah, but at the same time, what kind of boss is Dr. Al-Hashimi that she's going to come in her first day, be like, I might make you repeat your grade? Dude, I mean, just, you're making enemies day one. Why do that? Just she might be having an off day. You don't know. Don't judge somebody on one day.
It's hard as a new boss coming in. Yeah.
Yeah, but you got to give it a couple days, man.
Exactly.
And if you notice it's a long-term pattern, then sure, then you're we need to have a conversation. But all that could have taken was a quick hey, I really need you to focus on your charting. This is not, your charting is backlogged right now.
Yeah, or hey, what can I do to help you with your chart? Or where have a conversation with the person and check in with the person, as opposed to,
here's my new AI tool for charting.
Right, exactly. Or, oh boy, it'd be a shame if you had to repeat R2. Man, that's terrifying for something like Santos.
Starting off with a threat is just poor management. It's just poor management, right? Yeah. And Robbie can be rough sometimes, but he's fair. And that was not fair, I do not think. At the same time, Santos was being kind of a brat about it at first, right? She was like looking other directions and being like, yeah, I'll handle it. And like, I do understand the as a parent, I understand the frustration of like asking my child to do something.
Yes.
And they're like, yeah, okay. All right. Like
time to get ready for dinner.
It is very frustrating.
15 minutes later.
But you can't be like, you're repeating kindergarten.
Yeah, tough. But I was thinking about it's interesting because we both had Mel, who was 5 hours to deposition.
Yes,
is now kind of back on track because she realizes that she was being flirted with by a criminal.
He ended up being a criminal. That really got me.
And then Santos is now flipped, and she's in the distracted point. Right. She's it's interesting how they sort of.
Yeah, they mirrored it.
Yeah, exactly. We learn a little bit about Dr. Collins. She finished her residency and is now in Portland as an attending and potentially adopting a baby. So we kind of got that cleared up. And I think we got cleared up that confirmation that Santos and Whitaker are still roommates, or that Whitaker is still living at. Dude just got his first direct deposit. Like how long has it been since
but he just got his doctor certification. He just passed his first boards.
Oh, right. So he's actually employed now, not a student. Oh, right. That makes sense now. Okay.
Yeah. It does track. I promise.
Yeah, I got it.
The
Friends
farm. Friends with farm benefits. That was
Santos
good.
They're writing the writing for Santos.
You ever see the milking machines? That was really good.
Oh my God. I just love how they're writing Santos this year.
We got to get Steve on to talk about milking machines.
That's terrifying. And then HBO. We had a finger up the bum with who is the gentleman's name? Mr. Montrose? No, yeah, Mr. Montrose. Michael Montrose, I think is right.
Our favorite Walmart greeter.
Oh man, I didn't think we were going to see that. I mean, we've had a lot of HBO direct to camera stuff, both on Night of the Seven Kingdoms and this. So
I did also enjoy. I didn't enjoy the finger up the bum. But I did enjoy afterward when Dr. McKay is still gloved and he goes, "Can I have a hug?" And she's like, "Maybe later."
Right. Like I think
I have your butthole on my hand.
Dr. McKay getting flirty with Brian with the broken foot.
So yeah, I was not fully understanding the signals the first couple episodes. I was not sure if she felt like she was being harassed. Or if she was into it but shy about it. And I guess we found out that she was into it but shy about it because she asked him out. What are the ethics of this, by the way?
She said, right, exactly. Notice the way that she said, "Oh, I'll happen to be at this place around this time." End of story, right? She just advertised that information. She did not.
Never meet a doctor at a second location.
And I think it's got to be tough, right? It's got to be tough to deal with a lot of people flirting with you in your workplace where you are a professional and you're doing your job. And at the same time, when somebody cute is kind of interested in you and you're kind of interested in them, like, oh, like there's a line there. Yeah. Like, how do we deal with this? But it's just got to be tough being a woman in a workplace like that, where men are just going to hit on you in ways that you didn't ask for. And you're a professional and you shouldn't have to fend off, right, all of these interests and these offers.
Let me bring it into something funnier for you. That way we can move on from serious issues.
Just real quick, the shirt that he has on, that patch that he had, that's the English national football team's logo with the 3 lions on it. So his foot injury, football. So I think that's probably what happened there. Anyway, moving on.
Oh, I was going to talk more about this guy. I was going to say they did not exchange numbers. She just told him the place.
Right.
She told him 9 p.m.
Yep.
Now we know her shift is probably supposed to be over by then. But we also know this season has 15 episodes and it's going to end at 10 p.m.
Doing the math, doing the work here, John. Yeah, good call.
I think she's going to have to make a decision. Do I go on my date or do I help out with whatever crisis is happening?
Interesting.
That's extended my shift for 3 hours.
Right. Do you have a Code Black betting pool? Are you playing the odds?
Oh, I didn't even think about that. We should have discussed this beforehand. All right, you give me yours.
I think that it is. I was leaning either. Is it like real? So we talked about it last week. Code Black being like a bomb threat or something like that, or an active shooter, versus some other external threat. So the way that they're making it sound is that Code Black could be anything from a burst pipe to a like potentially violent and dangerous situation. And I'm like trying to decide which side of that tipping point do I fall on. Is it just a mundane power out, and the backup generator failed, versus this is a real danger situation. And I can't decide if I should be on one side of that line or another. Kind of for the drama's sake, I was kind of going, well, maybe it is like a dangerous situation.
But is that too close to season 1?
Yeah, exactly. That's a really good point. Now I'm psyched out. Like I've psyched myself out and I can't figure out which way to go now.
You're in The Princess Bride debating if you can outsmart a Sicilian.
Exactly, when death is on the line. So.
Yeah.
Do you have a thought?
All right, here's my theory. Okay. I'm basing this on nothing, but it's the 4th of July.
Yeah.
It's hot. Was carrying a bag of fireworks. Mm-hmm. When they were brought in.
Okay. Oh, God.
They went unconscious. Something went off. And now they assume that the whole bag is a bomb threat.
Got it.
And bomb squad's going to come in and be like, it's party poppers.
Right.
But and like everyone's going to be fine, but it's going to be like a silly not bomb threat.
So you're going with errant fireworks.
Errant fireworks. That's a good way to put it.
All right. I think that helps me clarify. I think I'm going to go with HVAC malfunction, because they go outside and they're like, ooh, it's humid out here. People have been complaining about how hot it is in this episode, which is ironic because I don't know what it's like where you are, but we were at like -4 this morning.
I know. Yeah. We had a school delay because it was so cold. It was like -20. Wow. It was supposed to be
-20. Geez.
Well, I don't know if it actually ended up being that. That was the estimate last night, but
good Lord,
I have no idea.
So when they walked outside of the ER and they're like, "Oh, it's humid in here," and I'm in bed under my covers, right? I'm like, well, that's such a weird dichotomy to feel. Anyway, I'm going to go with a heating, ventilation, and air conditioning malfunction that the hospital can't keep cool on the inside.
And I've just confirmed it was actually -3 this morning, and they delayed school for no reason.
Wow. So a little flirting between the attending doctors here, Dr.
I have no idea. And Robbie has no idea what to think of it, because the way he did like a double take. He was like, excuse me? What's going on?
Because that's like twice now, right? It's one time it was like a little funny thing, and now this is wait a minute, what's going on? I don't know what to make of all of that.
I don't know. They're on the same level. They're age appropriate. Mm-hmm. They
both driven professionals, like really care about their work.
Right. They both have trouble meeting people because of their schedules. Mm-hmm. I mean, I get it, but at the same time, he's confused because they're clashing professionally.
Right. And they're a little bit of an odd couple situation where he's guts and she's head, right? Is it confirmed that she is not in a committed relationship and has no family?
I don't think she's shared anything personal about herself.
Yeah, I can't remember anything.
That's perhaps part of the problem, right? She's not given into the pool.
If you think about it, this was a very flirty episode overall. We had Dr. McKay, we had Mel, we've got Dr. Al-Hashimi and Dr. Robbie.
We had a finger in the bum. I mean, we're already on third base.
Right. All right. You're hanging out with Steve too much on Night of Seven Kingdom podcasts.
All right, let's get out of the infield.
Robbie has a death wish.
Yes, he kind of does. And the psychiatrist, first of all, the psychiatrist, I can't remember his name, but he had a good point. If like, don't calm me down here if the patient is unconscious. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah,
I have
and
other
Dr.
people
Giamatti
to say.
Felt bad about that. I think she owned to it. She copped to it. So
right, but also like when he got there and the patient was unconscious, wouldn't she have put that together then? But she was like beaming. She was like, I called in psychiatry. We're going to do everything we can. And I was like, dude, he's literally asleep right now. You could see him then.
Right. Yeah.
And you don't want to do like an introduction between between your patient and the psychiatrist or anything like that?
Plot mechanic wise, it got Robbie and the psychiatrist back in a conversation because maybe that's what they needed. Yeah. So Robbie has a history of unsuccessful engagements with psychiatrists. Psychologists, I don't know who he's seeing. I don't know if they're psychiatrist, psychologist, or
yeah, it's interesting, right? Because he's a psychiatrist. They said that, but generally you don't go to therapy with a psychiatrist. You go to therapy with a psychologist or a licensed clinical therapist.
Right. Unless you're active medication, right? I think then you would.
But you still see a psychiatrist and a therapist separately.
Oh,
the psychiatrist is really just to discuss your symptoms and the medication.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Yeah, because we have a whole new classification maybe that's different from 20, 30, 40 years ago where we have the licensed clinical whatever. I can't keep it in.
Licensed mental health therapist.
Thank you.
I think that's what they usually
hard to
do.
Keep it all. Motorcycle is Zoom therapy. That was such a good line.
That was good. That was good. And like, You know they wrote that carefully, right? They could have said like there's virtual, but no, they said Zoom so that he could make that stupid joke.
It's a funny joke. It's a very funny joke. Javadi's birth. Dr. J's got the followers, and it's her birthday.
Dr. J. And I love when she's caught and she goes, "I'm actually a student doctor." And it's like maybe a doctor could write in here and let us know like where the line is on like when you can like. Is she okay to call herself Dr. J on?
Right.
Because she can't call herself a doctor well in the hospital. We know that. But like, where's that false representation line?
Did we talk about this before where a lieutenant commander could be in charge of a ship and they would be called captain because, here's another example, World War II, bombers, they may be the person piloting the plane, the person in charge of piloting the plane was a sergeant, but they were still called captain when they were in the cockpit flying the plane and being in charge of everything. So do we give it out of a kind of a courtesy and a positional thing, even though that you as an individual may not attain that? Do we still?
Well, either way, I don't think her TikTok account is giving her any authority to do that. So,
well,
she's not really in a position of power on TikTok. So,
that's an interesting point, actually, that you mentioned that. And of course, I was thinking about you when they didn't say TikTok, but but
it's clearly implied, right?
Like, yeah.
They said TikTok last season, though.
Okay.
And she goes, "Oh, I have to follow you, Dr. Giovanni says I have to follow you." So I think that you can read that in. It's TikTok.
So in this episode, we have the parkour patient and his partner, his friend. What's her name? I've got it here in the list. I actually made a big list this time. I actually tried to keep track so that we weren't making up names as we go. I have it somewhere here. Scrolling. So Willow Baptiste is the young woman with her eye closed up, and Tanya Young is Vince Cole's parkour creative partner, is what she says. And so we're getting. It's interesting, when we talk about the topics that the show is covering from a sociological standpoint. Healthcare, diabetes, health insurance, but the use of social media in medicine, not the use of, but the presence of, social media in medicine and how that affects what goes on in these spaces. That's interesting because the young woman, Willow, is like, yo, I need to see Dr. J because I trust her from social media. And then meanwhile, we have a parkour. I'm calling them a couple just for the sake of, not because they're romantically involved, but like they're partners or whatever. And they ostensibly were making a video. And that's how he got injured and almost died, was because of social media.
Right. And also, can I just say, like, there is no social media platform that is going to allow you to show the OR. So I don't know why she's insisting on needing to film. Like, that's not going to be usable content.
That's on their private subscriber only channel.
Oh my God. Their Patreon.
Or I was thinking OF, the other one, because you can do anything on the other one. Not that I know.
It's called Only Wounds.
Only Wounds. God. Dude, he almost went down, right?
Because of
Dr. Ogilvy. Well, and then another person in the radiology department missed the thing. And so he just, so that was like a double F up.
Well, no, I thought maybe I misread this. I thought that the radiology report came down as, I thought they said we missed one.
No, I forget what they said. It was not the attending, maybe a resident. They called down and the nurse said somebody in the radiology, whether they were a resident or what, missed something. There's a foreign body, blah, 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 blah.
Oh, I thought they were saying that we, the ER, missed one because I thought that they took stuff out, then they sent him up for a scan, and then the scan came back while they were finding the other piece.
Right. And the scheme, in the scan, they missed that piece was in the back.
Okay.
So when they were bouncing him around, then...
Either way, stop yanking it out, Ogilvy.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you don't know that? You don't do that.
Well, that's the thing, though, is like, you can be as book smart as you want to be. And this is something that Javadi has had to learn, too.
Good point.
Both of them have to learn that, like, you can be as book smart as you want, but in the actual situation, you need to work as a team, and you need to wait for orders, and you need to discuss it before you start yanking glass out of a person, out of an artery.
And he was feeling pretty emboldened by his two previous circumstances. And that's a really good point, is that you have to, every patient, you have to reset yourself. It's not
right.
It's not like you're on the court and you're making all your 3 points and you keep going. You have to stop every single time and check in with yourself and check in with your team. And not assume that you're on a winning streak.
I'm thinking of Jack Donaghy in 30 Rock when he's like, I'm Reaganing. He's having a day of perfect decisions.
That's so good. Great. Really quick, Louis, we had a listener a listener and a Discord user, Sarah, wrote in, just listened to episode 3 podcast and heard you asking about the fluid that they're draining from Louis. Sarah is a level 1 trauma ICU nurse for the last 25 years. Sarah, amazing. Thank you for that's an amazing career.
Yeah.
God. 25 years in the ICU. I mean, maybe you moved around or whatever, but anyway, thank you. And thank you for writing in. Louis has alcoholic cirrhosis, which basically means his liver has turned into a chunk of scar tissue from the damage drinking has done to it. Scar tissue doesn't do the things it's supposed to do, and blood doesn't flow through it correctly, backing up and causing high pressure in the veins and arteries around the liver and into the kidneys, as well as other areas. This triggers the kidneys to make you hold on to sodium, salt, and fluid, which then leaks out of your capillary beds into the space in your abdomen called ascites. And your feet and ankles. It's not uncommon to drain 3 to 7 liters of fluid off of these patients. If you heard them talking about giving him albumin, albumin is a protein found in your blood that helps draw fluid back into your vascular system to keep your blood pressure from dropping. In essence, the fluid leaks out of your vessels into the spaces between the cells, so you can be dehydrated in your vessels, but still be swollen up like a balloon. The albumin helps to bring some of that fluid back into your vessels. Maybe this helps explain. Happy to answer other medical questions. Loving the season and the pod. Sarah, thank you so much for writing in. That is just really clear and helpful to understand.
Yeah, I mean, that's really helpful.
Our medical correspondent.
It is kind of insane how the human body does things, like just puts fluid in random places and things like that. Like, talk about broken pipes with possibilities with the other hospital. Louis is not doing too well, and it's we're constantly treating Louis in the ER, right? He seems to be a frequent flyer here, but like, is anyone treating his emotional problems, right? Like his, clearly he has given up, right? He is saying like, I'm going to be the jolly alcoholic until I die. Yeah. Like as long as I'm not feeling pain, I'm okay. That's what he's basically saying.
And it sounds like he has such a wonderfully rich life. He's just dispensing wisdom, and he knows all of this stuff about fireworks and groundskeeping. Like, he's just a really soulful person. I'd love to hang out with Louis at a barbecue, 4th of July barbecue, and just hear his stories. He's got such an interesting perspective, and it's just such a shame that his alcoholism is kind of going untreated, right? And it's affecting his quality of life, literally.
Yeah. And boy, that abscess was quite
I was saying that
quite full.
I was just thinking to myself, this episode was a little light on showing us things. And then they gave us the abscess and then the finger.
I have to tell you, this is gonna be gross. So, I mean, you're watching the Pit, so you're fine, everybody.
Yeah, right.
I had a cracked tooth that I didn't know was cracked at one point, and I had an abscess because of it. Ooh. And my dentist was like, "Holy shit! This like because it's under. It was not like Louis where it was like right on the surface, but it was like there under, and so it's not fun, and it's excruciating pain. It's like extremely, extremely painful. So I understand, Louis.
Something that didn't happen last year in 2025 was that we didn't cover the 40th anniversary of Tampopo, which is a Japanese movie about food and food culture and eating and just deeply human things. And you had agreed to sign on, and we were going to talk to our old friend. I apologize, I'm blanking his name. Nate. And I think I would still like to do that this year because I think you would enjoy this movie a lot. But there's a scene, if you've seen Tampopo, you know the scene I'm talking about, the dentist scene. So I'm just going to leave that there. It's really funny. Though. It's really funny.
All right.
Should we scan through the patient list really quick to see if there's anything that we wanted to touch on before we wrap up?
Like I said, I was not a huge fan of the Jackson Davis plot line. Like, I liked it last episode, but you know what I didn't mention last episode? He was actually setting civil rights laws when he was shouting.
Oh, okay.
And I recognized it. I just forgot to say it.
Oh, okay.
So he was basically saying, like, don't mess with me, security guard. These are all my rights.
Interesting. Oh, okay. Interesting. That makes sense.
Yeah,
right?
He was setting ways to sue for discrimination against the federal government.
But we have a mystery as to what his condition is, and now we're moving to a spinal tap.
And we know he was in law school. He was going to law school or something like that, right? He was going to go.
He was
to
at the library at school, I think, is when this.
Yeah, but they said something about law school this episode.
Yeah. The sister said he's at law school.
Okay, so then he's not just a college student; he's in law school.
Yeah,
and that would make sense why he knows the specific statutes to cite, right?
Right. Yeah, because this is all that's in his brain right now is cramming all these statutes, right, for your classroom thing. So.
We
talked about Vince Cole, who is the parkour athlete.
Yeah, just like Ogilvy, do better. Do better.
And Tanya, his creative partner. We've got, we talked about Felicia Ronson already, with the pneumonia as a secondary to her eating disorder. On from there. I really just felt bad last episode that we weren't doing our Lorehounds work, and so I wanted to have at least a little bit of a list.
We did promise we weren't doing our Lorehounds work, so I did not feel bad.
Yeah, you don't have to. I'm feeling, that's my own confliction. We have Pamela Perry, who had abdominal pain after eating chilaquiles and fried eggs.
Chilaquiles.
Chilaquiles. We do not know what her where that story's going to go yet. That was just an introduction. Jean Samba and History of Hypertension. Oh, and this was the what did they call it? The posterior or anterior, whatever. The
STEMI, was it that?
Yeah,
was that it?
I don't know what STEMI. Sarah, what is a STEMI?
Yeah, we're gonna have you as our correspondent now. It was a trap.
Absolutely, our chief medical correspondent.
But yeah, I mean, I will say I really like that scene where it really showed a lot of interesting things too. How like the nurse that was a nurse, right? The guy who wouldn't help.
Oh, right. He was busy, and then he got called away.
Like, I can't do that right now. It's like, but here's the thing: he wasn't busy when Whitaker first asked him,
right?
And he just said no, get an attending to sign off on it.
Right.
Meanwhile, it wasn't an invasive procedure. He could have done that very quickly, and the guy might not have had a heart attack.
Good point.
The guy might not have coded like that. And
Jesse,
I don't know. I feel like there needs to be some fallout from that. Like he needs to come over and be like, I'm sorry that I didn't believe you.
Right. And Whitaker is a doctor now. So where's the line of authority there? Could he have ordered that test?
I think you have to run anything that could like damage the patient if it's wrong. You probably have to run by the attending, right?
But that was just attaching some leads.
Exactly. Yeah. They were just doing, a non-invasive test. I think, why is he fighting with him so much? He just didn't want to do it. Yeah. And like guy could have died because he didn't want to do it.
Right. Well, and then Whitaker kept him sitting up, and the guy was complaining, and Whitaker didn't say, okay, like he didn't pick up on that. He was so into the test. He got sort of tunnel vision in getting the test result.
But him collapsing would not have told them anything, right? It would have just told them that he might have told them that he's having a heart attack, but not the kind of heart attack that they needed to treat.
But then he went and his heart stopped because he was sitting up.
Was that because of that?
I felt that it was maybe an exacerbating circumstance. Maybe he was.
I don't think so. I think I think that was going to happen because he was complaining of dizziness before that.
All right, Sarah, set us straight. Clear us up. Putting a lot on Sarah. Orlando Diaz, diabetic ketoacidosis. No health insurance, over the poverty line, but under private insurance thresholds. That is just freaking worst trap to be in this day and age.
Especially because we just had the subsidies expire.
Yeah. And in the
Affordable Care Act.
One of the richest countries in the world with amazing technological resources and amazing healthcare practitioners, that they're falling into that little cavern. That's just terrible.
I wonder if they changed this plotline at all because this debate was happening for the last 3 months of 2025, and they wrapped filming when the season started. They were wrapping filming. They were still filming.
Yeah. So, which I really like about this style of prestige pulp. I don't know how to classify this. This is a prestige show, but in a fast food delivery, right? It's one of those Panera bread, like you're eating fancy.
It's Five Guys. It's not McDonald's.
Right, exactly. It's gourmet, but fast.
Right.
And I like that because then they can be topical and they can address things that are concurrently going on.
Right. I'm just curious how fast they can do it. Right. Could they film a new scene in here while they're doing the later episodes?
Interesting.
Who knows?
Willow Baptiste, I glued shut with Dr. J. She was very happy to see Dr. J.
And then the minute she opens her eyes, she's like, oh my God. It looks terrible. I think she thought that Dr. J was going to magically fix it rather than just do exactly what
Langdon was going
to do.
Okay, we talked about Michael Montrose with the fractured tailbone. Yeah. Brian with the broken foot, Louis with the dental abscess. Okay, we've got that. We're concerned for Louis. We're on Louis watch here. Mm-hmm. And then that ties back in a little bit to Whitaker and Dr. Robbie. Robbie is really paying attention to Whitaker in these last few episodes and really feeling that fraternal, big brother-y kind of, like Whitaker's going to make a good doctor. And maybe is replacing Langdon in Robbie's heart as
I think so.
We could be buddies.
I mean, he's flirting with all the women. He's fathering all the sons.
He's helping out at the farm.
I'm saying. What's it called? Robbie is flirting with every woman in the ER, and then he's taken on every adoptive son that he can.
Right. Good point. Harlow Graham is the deaf woman who has, we're not sure yet what's going on with her. And I really like the point that she says to Donnie. She's like, you can face me. I'm here, right?
So I every now and then, like very rarely, I have a public facing portion of my job. And so I have to do language training every year. And in that training, they say like 1,000 times, do not talk to the interpreter, talk to the person. The interpreter will make it like you're having, a face-to-face conversation. That is like a big stress thing. Like, do not talk to the interpreter. Don't say, ask her this, just ask her this.
You're right. There's a lot of missing care or appreciation for treating people as people in the world, like just going up to somebody who might have a physical or mobility impairment or condition, and then just grabbing their wheelchair, or a blind person just grabbing their arm and trying to help them cross the street. Like, you would never do that to somebody else, right? You would ask, hey, can I help? So like, I really like that they addressed that issue, which is, this is how you relate to people. They're people, treat them like people.
Right.
So, Debbie Cohn, cellulitis on the foot, could be MRSA. Fuck MRSA, fuck cancer and fuck MRSA.
Yeah, MRSA's no good. That's going to be a whole thing next episode. Yeah. Obviously. Or it's not, or it's going to be resolved in the first 5 minutes and then it's going to be fine.
MRSA's bad. I mean, who knows what it is, but yeah, she it went, not only was it like a little bit outside the Sharpie line, it was.
Yeah. Now, let me ask you though, because I briefly Googled MRSA last night. Can you give a brief overview? Because I'm not sure I fully understand it.
It has, yes, and it has appeared in my life and caused complications in my family's life.
So you don't have to tell me if you don't.
No, it's totally fine. Yeah. It's a Staphylococcus aureus. It's a resistant what they call staph infection, Staphylococcus. It's a superbug because we've been using antibiotics so aggressively and creating sterile environments. We have actually accelerated the evolutionary development of this particular bug. And so it is now something that is a severe problem. And you have to basically, I'm going to use a war analogy, apologies. Like, if it's one thing if you shot this thing with a bullet, right, from a gun, now we have to use A-bombs to obliterate these things. And that's only causing them to increase even further. So all of the antibacterial soaps and all of this sort of, super hygiene stuff.
Right.
And we need sterile environments in the hospital. Like, we're not saying that. I don't know if you watched Death by Lightning, but there's a whole thing about that in there. But basically, we have advanced the evolution of this bug, and it is super resistant to regular.
Very good.
Okay, enough. Did I?
No, I'm just saying. Like, I'm being sarcastic. Like, great,
okay.
We made a superbug.
Oh, right, exactly. Yeah, we made a superbug. So who knows? We don't know what this is. We don't know if it's MRSA or not. That's what they dropped.
Yeah.
And then Joy got to be a patient with Nurse Emma.
And we already had an HIV scare in season 1 when somebody else got their foot stuck. I don't remember who.
But I don't remember now either.
Anyway, something that I wanted to point out here was the difference between Al-Hashimi and Robbie was Dr. Al-Hashimi was like, oh, well, she doesn't necessarily need meds. We have to wait for the thing to come back. And Robbie goes, if you want to pop a pep, go ahead. Like, maybe the exact right, by the book thing would be to wait. But Robbie knows that she's probably feeling very anxious about like potentially contracting HIV.
Right.
And if it's going to make her feel better, pop the soon after treatment. Like, again, like, there's no shortage of that as far as I'm aware. So I'm kind of with Dr. Robbie here, right?
And that's the thing with the MRSA thing is that in the preventative, we've over prevented it, which has caused it to advance.
Yeah.
But that's a different thing as opposed to taking for the HIV. So we're not in danger of accelerating anything. That's a safe thing just to take.
Right. Exactly. And I mean, like, the advances in HIV preventatives in the last 10 years have been insane and wonderful. I think that's great. I hope that disease gets eradicated in my lifetime. It's done such a horrible damage, especially to the gay community.
Yeah.
It's just, yeah. So anyway, we'll see if Joy actually needed the pill, but
Joy. And Joy was finally starting to do some stuff and be present. And then now she's got to have Nurse Nolan, who drops the vial.
That was pretty good. Good.
You could feel it coming too. She was fumbling and trying to hold the different things.
But at the same time, I'm really glad that she had like a really easy, she did the difficult stick.
Right.
She did a really good job. And then at the very end, just in writing whose blood it was, she drops it. Like, I actually really like that they showed she's competent but nervous.
Right. Yeah. Right. And it's a busy ER and there's a lot of pressure to perform. And it makes me realize just how much physical dexterity is involved in nursing and doctoring and just all the things that they're doing, or there was a point where somebody was crossing behind Ogilvy and they bumped. When he was doing an intubation, and it was like, hey, mind your space. Like the choreography that has to happen in a busy emergency room is pretty incredible.
Yeah. Well, that's all I got for today.
Yeah.
I think we did it.
We covered it good.
We've recapped the Pitt, and we forgot to take a break, so you're welcome.
Freebie. You can always slip one in, but it's okay. It's your first week in July syndrome, free from ads except bumpers. Anyway, what else is going on, John? Whatever.
I'm not John.
I'm thinking Jean is on my mind because we've been watching Wonder Man. I've been watching Wonder Man. I watched an episode 3 with my wife last night. She enjoyed it really well.
No, it's fine. You can have your preferred podcaster,
dude. Wonder Man is awesome. And so we're going to do we're going to do episodes 1 through 4 and then 5 through 8. So we're going to do, instead of doing a 1-shot, we're going to do a 2-shot.
That's great. I think that'll be cool. We got plenty going on. We're doing weekly coverage of Night of the Seven Kingdoms with Properly Howard. So check that out on the main feed and on the Night of the Seven Kingdoms feed. And you can also get the instant take on Sunday nights and the feedback episode on Fridays on the Properly Howard feed only. So definitely check that out.
You have to go and subscribe to that.
Yes, go subscribe to the Properly Howard feed.
Right now.
We made quite a lot of phallic jokes on the last instant take, so I would really encourage you to go.
There was an elephant in the room. We couldn't avoid it. I'm sorry. We apologize.
The trunk, at least. And so that was a lot of fun. I've been having a lot of fun covering that with them.
Yeah.
And a good show, too. Like, if you're not watching it, you should go watch it. It's like half-hour episodes.
Alicia's got a lot going on with the Oscars. We did our first big picture look at what's going on in the landscape and the Best Pictures. And she's got a whole bunch of stuff scheduled. And we launched a new feed just for the cinema-related stuff. So go subscribe to that and check out her coverage. I think she had 11 episodes planned overall, talking with a lot of different folks from our extended community. So really in-depth coverage. So if you're a movie lover and into the Oscars, go check those episodes out.
Yeah. And speaking of movies, we just covered Fargo as our cold comfort 11sies for...
Nice.
What month is I almost said July because we're talking about the 4th of July. January. That was a good movie. That was really good. Did you hear what Steve said about the movie when we were on our Night of the Seven Kingdoms podcast?
No.
He said all the king's horses and all the king's men couldn't put Buscemi back together again.
That's true.
And that got me. I've been thinking about that all week. It was so funny to me.
Nice. Then we're doing a Diane Keaton retrospective for 11sies for February, and we've picked 4 movies: Annie Hall, Reds, The First Wives Club, and Something's Gotta Give. And subscribers can vote on which movie we'll cover in February.
Yeah. And I know we've got Earthsea on the calendar finally after 2 years. We're going to finish Earthsea. And Silmarillion I have coming soon. I have that almost on the calendar with Marilyn.
You say that.
Well, because now I got to finish that because now I have another book project coming, but I'm not ready to fully announce it because I have to structure it a little bit more.
Yeah, you should make sure to talk with Danae from Captain's Pod about Silmarillion story.
She's already on the schedule, David.
Oh, look at you.
She's already doing a chapter with me.
If you're interested in Star Trek Starfleet Academy, which is generating some heat, but it's not bad, everybody. It's not as bad as the Reddit trolls would make you believe. Ian and Nene are doing weekly episode coverage of that over on the Captain's podcast. So go visit our friends over there for that coverage.
Very cool.
Anything else that we should tag?
Not that I can think of off the top of my head. Okay. I'm sure that there's more stuff coming, but
quick shout outs.
Yes, our shout outs. We have our Discord server boosters, which are Aaron K, Taylor the Thriller, Doof71, Athena A, Listu, Nancy M, Ghost of Partition, Radioactive Richard, and Adrian. And our lore masters, Samartian, Michael G, Michelle E, SC, Peter OH, Nancy M, Doof71, Brian D63, Frederick H, Sarah L, Gareth C, Andra B, Kwang Yu, Nathan T, Sub-Zero, Aaron K, Dally V, Mothership 61, Gnarls, Kathy W, Listu, Jeffrey B, Elisa U, Ben B, Scott F, Stephen N, Julia F, Kali S, Ilmariel, Paul K, Rocky Zim, Jessica A, Red Zippy, the TCS, Dopamine, Catch It, Ellen R, Mrs. Tennant, AC Wilson, Eli W, Cassie K, Chumbaruni, Katia, Josh Liu, Paint and PDX, Corey G, and Adrian.
Thanks, everyone. We couldn't do it without you. Appreciate it. And that's another episode of The Pit in the bag. And
yes, we'll thank you for allowing us to do too much coverage of various shows at the same time.
Because we love what we do.
Yeah, no, it's fun, but if we didn't have this big of a support window, it'd be harder. It 100%. Would be much harder to justify, right?
Absolutely, 100%.
All right, goodbye, everybody.
See ya. The Lorehounds podcast is produced and published by the Lorehounds. You can send questions and comments to lorehounds@thelorehounds.com. Get ad-free access to all Lorehounds podcasts on Patreon or Supercast, and connect with us on Blue Sky and join us on our Discord server. Links for everything are in the link tree in the show notes of this episode. Any opinions stated are ours personally and do not reflect the opinion of or belong to any employers or other entities. Thanks for listening.